And
let the drama begin.
It's getting pretty spicy as we speak. What is up, everybody? We are on for the Super Bowl.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
NFC champs are here. And now we face the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. What a perfect time to play a revenge game than to go against the defending Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs. So you're pumped up? Let's go. What is up, David McNiner? What is up, Daniel Barry Sports? What is up, Niners all damn day? Sure is going to be all damn day for this week. Hopefully we see how this plays out, you know? Just 2 more days.
We got 2 more days.
2 more days until we get that Kansas City's barbecue smoke special
So
for those
what?
Chiefs.
So is Chase playing?
What, Chase? Yeah. I've heard a lot of reports about it, but it's been false. There hasn't been anything.
Okay, so that's what I've been hearing too. So
I mean, yes, he did have lack of effort, but I think he's already like admit that part. So we saw in the second half he didn't play that crappy. So maybe he was just a little off his game in the early part, but he's got to get better. I think that's what the reports were misunderstood. Yeah, he did play crappy first half, but second half he did step up a little better. I mean, there's a lot of different reports, but
yeah, I'm just like, do you think that this year Kyle will utilize for the Super Bowl Mason, Mitchell, and CMC? Rotate them?
I think with the formula, we're going to have to use CMC a lot more, and I think you are going to get little sprinkles between the 2 backs because I think for us to beat the Chiefs, we have to run the ball 30-plus times at least. And Brock Purdy doesn't need to be a hero. Just throw at least 25 passes or at least somewhere around that minimum and still get a good passing game. I'm hoping that our offense gets somewhere close to 200 yards rushing at least. If we can get somewhere close to 200 rushing and get 4 touchdowns out of those drives, then I'm cool with that. I don't need Brock Purdy to put up crazy numbers. I just need him to just manage the game. I don't think this is the kind of game he needs to be the hero.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't. I don't think you want to give too much pressure on Brock for this game. But if we're down, then we're probably going to need him to go down the field. But I think if we can get the running game going and we have a lead, then I think we stick with the formula. But do we really need Brock Purdy to be a hero in this game?
No. This is Patrick Mahomes. We don't need no hero ball. Like this, the Chiefs. Like we just need them to. Yeah. So who do we put on Travis with Fred Warner?
Fred Warner or Dre Greenlaw, it's going to be one of those 2 guys. But I think the best game plan to cover Travis Kelce is you got to have 2 guys cover him a little more so they can limit the big plays.
You would Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw on Kelce?
One of those 2 guys, yeah. And I think you need to have somebody to – because if you watch the previous films of the Chiefs, There's some game films where you could slow down Kelsey. He just won't have the big game. If you watch the Raiders game, they mostly double on Kelsey on some of it. And if you check some of the film, if we go back to the five man defensive line, they actually slowed down Pacheco, and you can force Mahomes to go look a different direction because Kelsey's always his go-to guy. But if you try to double on Kelsey, he has to look for another option, and that can lead to him just holding on to the ball a little longer until somebody catches it. That's what I've
Yeah,
noticed about the.
I think if they, pressure, Patrick Mahomes, because I've noticed like he's not that well under pressure. And you like keep him out of the pocket. If the 49ers can accomplish that, the Super Bowl is ours.
Yeah,
Because Patrick Mahomes doesn't really do well with pressure.
under pressure, he does make a lot of mistakes. But I think in order for us to beat the Chiefs on their offenses, I think if we want to take away the running game for sure. So we might need to have a 5-man rush instead of a regular rush. Because if you can get a 5-man rush and you just have your two linebackers cover one of the guys, you do definitely kind of make it hard for Mahomes because he's going to either have to look for another option receiver. And Rashid Rice, it probably takes him a while to get open. So he might have to be the other outlet receiver or somebody else. But I think we got to slow down Pacheco because Pacheco's that one guy that kind of moves their offense a little more. So if we can slow down Pacheco, I have confidence we can force Mahomes to have to throw more than
Hmm.
expected. I mean, their offense is their offense reminds me more of the Packers because they are good, but they just have a great quarterback. They have the similar receiving talent and the running game is very similar. I think that's what makes it so similar about the Chiefs is they kind of have the similarity of the Packers offense, but their defense is a little bit better. I mean, way better than them in general. I think this is like facing a better Packers team just based by their offense, the way they operate. Because Pacheco, he is a good running back compared to Aaron Jones, but he's tough to tackle. You look at the rest of the wide receivers outside of Rashid Rice and Travis Kelce, they mostly have no-name receivers out there. So you got to think of it like the Packers. Don't they have mostly no-name receivers for Jordan Love?
Really?
Yeah, like which receivers do you think the Chiefs got? They don't got
They don't
they got
really have. All he really truly has is Kelsey. So if you really contain Kelsey, then that's it.
Kelsey's like the weapon, but I think outside of Travis Kelce, Rashid Rice is nice. I'm not gonna lie, Rashid Rice is
Yeah,
a good
but
receiver.
he doesn't really utilize Rasheed like he does Kelsey. I think Rasheed Rice only comes in at like certain moments.
Yeah, I think that's where Ward's gonna cover him. That's where I like the matchup. Ward's gonna cover
Yeah.
Rice. I think the one X factor we have to watch out for. I hate to say this guy's name, but he kind of gave us some problems last time. So I think this one receiver you gotta watch out for is Marquez Scanley, man. I don't know. This guy had a good game against us last time, so we gotta be on our P's and Q's on this guy. This guy can make a big play. Because if you check out the last matchup we played the Chiefs, he had 3 catches for 111 yards. Like, how the hell did that dude make that kind of catch? Is beyond me.
So how would you utilize Kittle?
The way I would utilize Kittle is throwing those, like, the way we've been throwing the ball in the middle, right? We can throw him in the middle, and he's effective in the middle. We can try to use him as a slot receiver, like you said. Like you even said, we can try to use him as a slot receiver also. There's different ways how you can use Kittle, but if you use him in the middle, he can give you those tough yards. But if you use him in the slot, he could be really wide open. That's how I would use Kittle. I would use him in certain matchups, like against their linebackers.
So when you use, Chase Young and Bosa to, pressure Patrick Mahomes, what's next?
Well,
Like that would mean Hargrave or somebody come in and just
We're gonna have to try to use. I think the best way to get to Mahomes is you got to have a 5-man rush because you're giving him too much constant pressure. But if you just do a regular 4-man rush in that wide nine, I don't know. The wide nine just doesn't work good. Like it's only good for certain plays, but once teams start to do this other type of plays, that wide nine is useless. Like it's only good if you can actually maximize like pressure and stuff like that, but it doesn't work well on certain run plays because if they do those little you know how they do those little toss plays or some shit like that, that's where the wide nine is not going to stop it at times. It has to do with the gap assignments and all that shit, and they got to react fast or else that's going to be a big long play. So I don't like the wide nine shit. It just doesn't work on certain run plays mostly. That's where we give up a lot of the chunk of the yards.
So I think their what is it? Their red zone defense, the red zone with the Chiefs. They haven't really been like good in that position. I
That's
noticed.
been
Like they
that's been their
struggle in
weakest
the
part.
zone. Yeah. So now that Kyle, I think, can see that, do you think he has a strategy plan to capitalize on that?
If we're in the red zone, we're probably just going to run it with CMC and all that stuff. And I think there's different plays. We can use Kittle on those pass plays or use check. You know, use check's effective in the red zone on those
Yeah, I was
on
gonna
those.
say check would kind of be more effective.
Yeah, he would.
Not throwing shade at Kittle, but what I'm saying is
No,
use check.
yeah,
That's his style. Yeah.
yeah. Use check would be a nice short pass play for a touchdown because he'll be wide open and he'll break the tackle. So yeah. Hey, shout out to David from Colorado, man. My Broncos buddy right there, man. He's a cool dude. Yeah, you know, I think that's what can be good in the red zone is use check on those certain situations. But I think you can use CMC in that passing game also because if I remember correctly, didn't CMC score a touchdown mostly in the red zone catching the ball at the backfield?
Yep, that was his game.
That's effective. That is effective because that's where we can beat Kansas City. The one thing that I've noticed about Kansas City is their run defense. You got to do those little zone plays, which the Niners perfected the best. You know, I looked at the ranking of their run defense. They are 28 against the run. If you
Wait,
run
I
the
thought they
zone,
were 32.
we're
They
32.
came up.
No, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I thought they were 32.
I thought it was 28. If I'm mistaken. Oh, is it 32? Shit, that's even better. But
Yeah, it's something like they're not good. So it's like,
but they're gonna miss some pieces too. They're gonna miss some of their defensive line. What even hurts worse for the Chiefs is they don't have Charles Omenihu who actually disrupted the Ravens. You know, I don't think the Chiefs would have beat the Ravens if it wasn't for Charles Omenihu for that forced fumble and that sack. I'm gonna look it up. The Chiefs are they're ranked total number 2 overall defense, but there is a lot of weak spots on their defense that you have to. Their pass defense is a little bit good, but it's mostly the run defense that's their weakest spot. Okay, rush defense. Yeah, Kansas City's in the bottom. Yeah, they're in the bottom. Yeah, they're ranked I think they're ranked 23rd or maybe somewhere around there. I have to look it up. But it's not a good ranking. So you see the Niners are ranked number 3 against the run. So man, yeah, the Chiefs are like the 10th worst run defense. But I think against the zone, like you said, they could be 32nd against the zone runs and all that stuff. Yeah, and I think that's what David from Colorado is saying. It can be a CMC game. I think this is. I don't think this has to be a Brock Purdy game. I think this has
I
got
think
to be.
this is gonna be a Kittle game.
It could be a Kittle game, but I think this has got a making of a CMC type of game because of CMC. He is the most viable piece to our offense besides Debo Samuel. I mean, how much of a difference is it? He's like another wide receiver just playing running back. Like Ayuk can be another factor too, but Snead's going to cover Ayuk, and I think Debo's going to have more of a matchup. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think he's made a good point. Like, why is Lamar Jackson the MVP is beyond me? Like, I guess they give rewards to regular season. If that was the case, they could have just
Same
gave Jack.
reason Lamar Jackson needs MVP is the same reason why Roger Craig ain't in the fucking Hall of Fame. So they gonna have to make up for something. But shout out to Patrick Willis for getting there. But
Patrick Willis. What you talking
they
about,
said
Willis?
Vernon Davis is getting in the Hall of Fame. I said, nah. I don't think
Nah,
Vernon is.
Vernon was good, but I don't think he had a case for the Hall of Fame. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, he was good, but not great.
Do y'all not remember when he lied and faked the injury, talking about he was hurt because we was sorry? You are not in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I remember this one a while back from Fox Sports. Remember this chick that said it? Mulsey, I don't know how you say her name, but she said, "Isn't quarterbacky?"
She ain't
Well,
never played quarterback a day in her fucking life. Lamar Jackson is still
Lamar Jackson's legit.
he
I'm
ain't
not.
be fucking B, bro.
He's the modern day of what Michael Vick is. Everybody forgets how great Michael Vick could have been if he was coached right, but Michael Vick had all the physical tools and the athleticism to be a really good quarterback. The same can be said about Lamar Jackson. It's not a bad compliment. It's actually a good compliment because when I watch Lamar play, I think of Michael Vick. That just comes to my head. I think on a Ravens team, they just don't know how to make the right play calls. That's the problem. Why are you abandoning the running plays when you have the Chiefs where you want them? You're not down by 3 touchdowns. You're down by 1 touchdown. Stick with the formula and you should beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But who am I, the judge, But I think this is going to be a different situation because the Chiefs are not going to be at their full health right now. Their starting guard is out. That's going to be a big hole to deal with. 2 of their defensive line, they're out. They're not going to play. That's kind of been – that can be the biggest weak spot because if they don't have guys like Charles Omenihu who we had before, it's not going to make a difference with their defensive line. Yeah, they got Chris Jones. They got Karlaftis, but they don't have any other guys who can disrupt other sides of the field, So Charles Omenihu was a very versatile player. He did everything for the Chiefs. Derek Nandi, whatever his name is, he is good against the run. That's what gives the Chiefs a little bit of what makes up for their weak spot of their defense is because that guy is good against the run. Now he's out of the equation. He's not playing. He's on injured reserve. Same with Charles Omenihu. They're on injured reserve. Joe Thuney is not going to play because he has I think he has a pectoral injury, so that can take like maybe months to recover. And Jared McKinnon, he ain't going to play. It's considered a long shot now. So what do the Chiefs have in mind? They're going to have to use Clyde Belair, whatever his name is, as their backup back. That's either here or then. Yeah, congratulations to Patrick Willis. Well deserved. Moses said, Lamar isn't quarterbacking. So how do you feel about this matchup? You think it's going to be a Kittle game? How do you feel about it being a Kittle game? I'm curious. Because if you think it's a Kittle game, then I might buy into this. Because I remember a while back, remember in the playoffs, Vernon Davis had one of his best games in the playoffs. Wasn't it against the Saints? He had like almost 200 yards receiving. Can George Kittle have a Vernon Davis type performance in the playoffs?
I can honestly see this being Kittle's game. Like Kittle is not bad and he's not inconsistent.
He just
But
hasn't
I
been used
think
more.
sometimes with Kittle in the big moments, he shines the brightest. And he takes advantage of those big moments. So the grandest stage of them all, the Super Bowl, I think Kittle is just about to outshine everybody. Kittle just has
Yeah.
those bursts of moments where he's just on a lethal path. And I think the Super Bowl, it's not saying he hasn't been on a lethal path, but I think the Super Bowl is about to bring the beast out like they did it him with the Cowboys game. Like
Well,
we finna have another one.
I hope he has like that. I'm hoping he has that kind of Vernon Davis type playoff performance where the one against the Saints where he had like 180 something yards or something. Can he have that kind of performance? Because I think that can be Super Bowl MVP worthy. If he can have over 180 yards, 3 touchdowns, I'll take that. But yes, 3 pancakes. But I think what we're gonna expect Kittle to do in this matchup is he's gonna help McKibbit a little bit on some blocks because he's gonna go against Karlaftis. That's a mismatch. You're gonna have to get a little help, and then that's where Kittle can get involved in the passing game a little more. Once they adjust on how the line holds up, then that's when Brock Purdy can release the ball quickly and all that stuff. But one thing you got to watch out for the Chiefs is they can get tricky on the blitz stuff. So they can do something out of the random spot, but I guess Purdy is like in the top ranks when it comes to getting pressure in the blitz. He kind of does well on that part, but I've heard Chiefs kind of mix it up too much. So it can be tricky. You can see one of their safeties or their cornerbacks jump on the blitz and go after the quarterback, which is something you got to watch out for. But I think they are very creative in some different ways. But the best way to beat Steve Spagnuolo's defense is Brock Purdy can evade out of the pressure and actually extend a play or run from a first down marker. That's what Brock does well. I've seen defense try to blitz a lot on him, and they failed a lot. I don't think there will be no different. They would have to have a Baltimore kind of game for them to have a chance because not a lot of their defenders are going to tip the ball all the time. Yeah, Purdy.
I think that, uh, Brock Purdy understands the significance of this game. So I think he understands like hero ball ain't the time. He understands, like he said, he knows Patrick Mahomes and who he is. To me, the dude is just an immaculate, perfect quarterback. I just can't find a flaw. But statistically, Niners should win this. Statistically wise, we should win this game. But I honestly think that Kansas City thinks that they have an answer. But I think this is when Kyle's going to come out of his bag and be like, and blow your mind.
I think what we saw from Kyle Shanahan in this week's press conference is he's more relaxed, which you
Yeah,
haven't.
he's pretty drunk. Yeah, he's
No,
pretty lit. He
but,
was
but
pretty lit.
but if you saw the last press conference, you can tell he didn't seem like all that relaxed. But to him, he does. So does that tell me something different about this team? Has Shanahan ever been relaxed like this before? I can't even think of it. I don't even think I've ever thought of him as relaxed. He's always been kind of like a stressed guy or kind of looks unhappy. But in this type of mindset, he looks chill, happy, and something just seems positive about it. Hopefully I'm right about it because I think that's something that we've never seen from Kyle Shanahan is this kind of guy. Have you ever seen this kind of guy like buzz a little bit and chill? Can't think of one. I mean, this guy must have had a drink or
Nah,
something.
no, he had a couple. Like, my guy was lit. CG, he was
He was
toasted like a
hammered.
motherfucker, bro. He was lit, and understandably, he's a monkey on his back, so he has to, relieve some of the pressure. But Andy Reid also said he understands that Kyle Shanahan is the greatest play caller this game has ever seen. But
He
I
knows it.
don't think that, yeah, but I don't honestly I think that Andy Reid is thinking that Kyle is going to consistently go with the same system he's been going with. But I think Kyle is going to shock the fucking world. And this is a lot coming from me, and I can't stand that motherfucker.
Well, you
And
said you're saying this so he can keep his job. That's what you're saying. I think it don't matter about it, but
yeah,
I think
what
he's
he
gonna.
does? He's like, I'm trying to keep my job, and I'm about to shock the world. So,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna prove that. I'm gonna prove that lady from Arkansas that I can still make
I am not
plays.
from Arkansas. I am from Oakland. Thank you very much. I
I
just
know, but I'm
live.
just messing around. I'm just being like Kyle would say.
Yeah, Kyle. Yeah, my brother actually got to talk to him, and I was like, "And you didn't call me because I just got one question." He was like, "Nope, because you was gonna dig in his tail." I was. I was.
Oh wow, I wish your brother can come on, but I don't know how to get a hold of that guy. He'd be
That
fun.
dude is. He has a school. He's a teacher. He's
He's got a good
training up
amount of
and coming
followers.
beat writers. Yeah, it's a.
He's
And
got
he got
like
another
hundreds.
book.
Yeah, he's got hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter. So
I
yeah, it's
know, and I'll DM him, and he'll DM me back, and people be like, "He DM'd you," and I'm like, "Of course, my big brother DMs me," and I'll DM him and be like, The Curry book was trash. Just wanted to.
I'm gonna have to.
But
You're gonna
he's
have to.
going to the game,
You're gonna have to try to
so
inbox him, see if he can come on the show appearance for this one.
I'll try. But
Yeah, I like to
he
get.
was in Vegas, so
Yeah, I like to get his perspective of what he thinks of this matchup, but I guess we'll probably won't get it from him until maybe after the Super Bowl. um, Man, I'm gonna have to check out a bunch of prospects like after the off season, so we'll see what happens. But Kansas City, nothing scary about their offense. Not really. I mean, their defense is really much. I think defense has been their strength. They've only averaged 21 points a game on offense. So if you do the math, their defense gives up less than 12, but that's probably because of who they played against at times, you know? Sometimes you kind of look at their competition, you're kind of thinking, well, how come they haven't been consistent all the time on their defense at times? There's been some games they should have won. The Packers, they should have won, but they really messed up that game. The Raiders, they should have beat them in Las Vegas, but their defense wasn't figuring out the answer. Just because you're getting hot at the right time doesn't mean nothing. Look at the Packers. The Packers were playing hot football once they played the Cowboys. And what happened? We took out the fire. The Lions were supposed to be a hot team, but we took out the fire.
yeah, we took out the Jacksonville, and they were
Yeah,
the
we took.
hottest team at the time. We took them down. So
Well, last I checked, so every bye week we play against a hot team. So, like you just said, Jacksonville was a hot team. We took out the fire. The Packers were a hot team. We took out the fire. The Chiefs are the hot team, right? So we're about to take out the fire, the Kansas City barbecue fire. We're about to take it out of the fire, take it out of the kitchen. I ain't gonna lie, they do got some good barbecue in Kansas City. Not gonna lie.
I heard they got
No,
good barbecue. I just never thought anybody would beat Texas.
nah, but some of their barbecues are pretty legit. Yo, Kyle, they ain't gonna be fire as much as I
Nah,
hate to
they
say.
extended his contract after he had the 2 years left. They gave him, so he got 6 years added on.
He ain't going nowhere anytime soon, as much as we hate to see that. But he wins a Super Bowl, that's even better for his case. I got a feeling Kyle Shanahan's going to go all alternating Debo, CMC at running back. I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to do some jet sweeps on Debo, and that's what's going to catch Chiefs defense off guard a little bit. I think you're going to see a lot of Debo and some run plays.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
yeah, Debo. Like, I noticed Debo been getting punished like he a running back. Like,
yeah.
do, do you think they'll have an answer for Debo too?
That's going to be a hard one because this kind of reminds me more of playing the Eagles. They kind of seemed like a good defensive team, and then they started falling off. I think for Kansas City, are they going to have an answer for Debo? Debo is going to be a factor no matter how they try to cover him. I mean, Debo is going to be a factor in the running game. He's going to be a factor in the receiving game. He's going to be a factor as a blocker. So whenever Debo's on the football field, we have a better chance to win ball games. So I think what can be the most effective part for Debo is the screen pass. He can make that small. He can run to those holes and get towards big chunk of plays. We've seen it against Philadelphia where that short screen pass was, and he turned it into a touchdown. I could see one of those plays happen. There's going to be one of those plays from Kansas City that they're going to probably give up some big chunks, and then you're going to see Debo just make the most out of those plays. You're going to see a couple big chunk plays, and then you're going to see Debo run some plays. Then you're going to see CMC become an X factor in the passing game. You're going to see a lot of Trent Williams trying to take down Chris Jones. You're gonna see some plays where Chris Jones gets pancaked by Trent Williams, and you're not gonna see it coming. That's one thing about Trent Williams. You're never gonna see it coming from this guy. He might even try to go after Chris Jones just to make it more.
Yep. Yep. That would be actual yes.
I think they're gonna try to mix it up. If they can't get pressure outside, they're gonna move Chris Jones on the side where Trent Williams is at. And that's probably going to be the matchup that everybody wants to see because if they can't create, I think that's where you want to create pressure. But if they can't get it, they're going to have Chris Jones play outside a little bit. And that might be a challenge. Hell yeah. What's up, JJ Sports Coverage? What's up, Awesomeness Sports? What's up, Lakers fan, Niners fan? What is up?
And
What's
Niners
up,
in
one?
the motherfucker. Hey, fuck the Lakers, bro. Hands
Ah,
down, fuck the Lakers, man.
there we go again. 187. We got 187 on the motherfucking Chiefs.
Yo,
187 on the
it's
motherfucking
been a
Chiefs.
hectic week, man. This revenge tour is finna be the biggest. The biggest.
Can you ever think of a revenge game where it kind of reminds me more of Rocky? Remember that Rocky
Yeah,
game?
that's what they're comparing the Niners thing is to Rocky. That's why people
Was
was like, fuck Rocky, fuck. And I was like, hold up, player.
I don't know if anybody's ever seen Rocky, the movie, where wasn't it like part one or two, whatever one it was, but he got his revenge, right? Remember he
Two.
was two? Okay. Wasn't it against the guy that killed one of his mentors?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the one with Ivan Drago, right?
So you really just out here trying to make me tell people I'm old. Okay, CJ.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But Drago, right? So Ivan Drago supposedly kind of took out his buddy, and that was the revenge. That was the revenge part of the game. I mean, you look at the matchup. I think this is a making of a revenge game, and it's going to be a lot hard for both teams, because the last 20 years there hasn't been a team that's won back-to-back Super Bowls, so that's going to be hard to do. I think I've heard the curse that nobody can repeat anymore because it hasn't happened since the Patriots. So,
Yep.
and the weird part is we've seen quarterbacks that actually dethrone other quarterbacks in the past years. Remember a while back that the Rams were considered a dynasty during that time with Kurt Warner, right? But what happened to Kurt Warner? He
Yep.
lost. He lost to this kid named Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady had the making of winning a lot of Super Bowls, but who did he lose to? Eli Manning twice?
That's the only reason why that motherfucker in the Hall of Fame. That's the only reason why that motherfucker in the Hall of Fame.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady
You
could
just
have got
you just
9
love
Super Bowls.
antagonizing me, CG. You
He
love
could have got
antagonizing me,
9.
CG.
He could have got 9, but
He
he
could
went
have
to
got
the
9 with us, but no, y'all coach
he
said
could have got 10
hell
actually.
to the no.
He could have got 10 too, but Nick Foles took that away from him. I mean, I can go on, but
He sure
man.
did. Yo, that shit hurt my feelings with Nick Foles. I was like,
Oh
no.
man. I don't know. Kansas City's got a making of a dynasty. I'm not gonna lie, but don't be surprised if it happens with another quarterback. I mean, we've seen these quarterbacks that everybody kept underestimating. We're already looking at the history of the Super Bowl. Usually the team who plays against a quarterback that nobody believes in, they are the ones that are paying the price. I mean, did anybody ever believe in Eli Manning? I don't think anybody did.
No.
Did anybody ever believe in Nick Foles?
Hell
Nobody.
no.
Did anybody ever believe Tom Brady in the beginning part of his career? No. Heck, Ben Roethlisberger was an unsung veteran. He was winning a lot of ball games. But did he ever had a great Super Bowl performance? No, he never did. But he won a lot of football games. So, did everybody give Drew Brees a chance when he first came into the league? Nah, they never did. There's a lot of factors, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yo, I think Drew Brees winning the Super Bowl was like one of the most iconic moments ever.
I think it was
Like,
because everybody had the Colts winning that game because they thought Peyton Manning
yeah.
was going to win another Super Bowl, and that wasn't the case. Oh, as much as I hate the Seahawks, did they give Seattle a chance against the Broncos? Hell
Nope.
no. They were giving Peyton Manning a lot of hype. Don't get me wrong. In the 2013 season, Peyton Manning broke some NFL records, but it didn't mean a damn squat. Did anybody give the Niners a chance against Dan Marino? No. Marino
That's
was
another
breaking
goat.
records. Marino was breaking damn records. Did anybody give us a chance against the Denver Broncos when John Elway was at his prime?
Nope. They thought we was finna be.
Yeah, that's the point. We've seen these quarterbacks been doubted before. Did anybody give Troy Aikman a chance against Jim Cowley? No.
I ain't gonna lie, I did. I ain't gonna lie, I did. CG, I ain't gonna lie to you. I did. I
Come
gave
on,
him.
did anybody believe in that guy? Come on, Jim Kelly was a really good quarterback. I don't know.
I literally gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Come on. But I don't think so. Like Jim Kelly had the arm, everything. Did anybody give Kim Stabler a chance over Frank Tarkenton? Come on. Did anybody give a chance with Bob Greasy and Frank Tarkenton? Tarkenton was one of the best gifted quarterbacks at that time. But did Roger Staub did anybody give Terry Bradshaw a chance against Roger Staubach?
Oh, that's my mama's guy. She was there when Terry Bradshaw was drafted to the Pittsburgh Squealers.
No, but
When I see it,
that's just the history of those
I didn't think he
quarterbacks.
was gonna be anything, and he turned it around.
I mean, there's always been that quarterback that nobody gives a chance. I mean,
But do you
but
think that though it had something to do with the era though? Like
different
if
era.
you look at our guy Montana, like a lot of people get offended, when they compare Purdy and Montana,
It's
but
different era.
I don't think they mean playing wise. I think if you look at both of them, the only thing that was special about Joe was he never threw an interception in the Super Bowl.
He
But
was
other
more
than
confident.
that, really what was special, he had an elite coach, Bill Walsh, an elite defense, an elite offense.
And a
So
good
it's the
weapon.
same with Purdy. Like
Yeah, Purdy,
Purdy can scramble under pressure.
and you've seen that with
The way
Montana.
he reads and sees plays is unmatchable.
Yeah, you've
So
seen.
it's the similarities with him and Chicken Leg Joe. For those of you young people who don't know what that means, Joe Montana nickname was Chicken Leg Joe because that nigga did not have no calves.
But he ran.
No, that's why they called him Chicken Leg Joe.
Chicken Leg Joe. But the funny part about Brock Purdy is he's got them big thighs. Or big thighs, I think
That's
big
right.
quadrant
I
thighs.
call him Pastor Purdy now. I don't even call him Piss Pete no more. I call him Pastor Purdy. He looked like a little Mormon pastor. He's so thick and cute. He's so adorable. He looks
But
like
that
the
guy.
little young Mormons on Saturday with the little.
No, but when you look at Brock Purdy, what don't you think of him as one of those guys with the Christ of Jesus Christ, one of those guys that comes to your
Yeah,
doors?
he's a Mormon kid on Saturday with
Oh
the
man,
white shirt and
not in
the
a bad way,
tie.
but in a good way, and actually in a
Yeah,
good
he's
way.
like the white version of Russell Wilson.
I never thought of it that way. Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry.
is. He is. I ain't gonna lie.
That's
Everybody
why
keeps.
I said. That's why I said the Niners gonna win. We got a white quarterback who loves Jesus. You can't. You gotta give it to. You gotta give
So
it
we got
to.
our white Russell Wilson. If Russell Wilson wanted to bleach his skin, that would be him.
Yo,
He'd be like the Michael Jackson, right? Damn, hallelujah, man. Hallelujah. Brock Purdy, you've been blessed by Jesus, man. The last pick in the draft doesn't matter. You're the hope. You're the hope of the Taylor Swift slaying.
oh, I pissed him off today, CG. I went in Arrowhead space, and I was just like, I just want y'all to know Taylor Swift had sex with 21 Savage and cheated on Travis Kelsey, and I bounced. Oh, they was so mad.
That's too much. I think we're
Now
gonna
I
see
pray
them.
every day that they break up because that would
Yeah,
devastate the Chiefs.
yeah, it would. We'll see, but let's not take them lightly. They are the Super Bowl. They are the defending champions, but I think we're gonna take it as a. We're gonna take it as every game have we taken every freaking week. I mean, not. I mean, everybody keeps underestimating the Niners. Like, what do we got to prove to be Super Bowl champions? You got to beat the best, and Kansas City has been the best. Even though, okay, let's take away their regular season. All BS aside,
They were horrible.
they
And
are
look at
horrible. But in the playoffs,
he's a comeback kid.
they are a different football team. So let's give credit where it's due. They are a good football team in the playoffs. That's where they operate the most. Kansas City, they've been a really good football team for a while, but some of these other Kansas City fans, they don't know who Tony Gonzalez was. If you don't know who Tony Gonzalez is, then I'm sorry, you're not a real Chiefs fan. I've actually
That
I've
nigga was
actually I've
lethal.
actually been a I've actually followed Tony Gonzalez for many, many years. And some of these Chiefs fans, I asked them, do you know who Tony Gonzalez is? And they said some baseball player. And I said, okay, get the F out of here, man. You're not a real Chiefs fan. All I got to do is tell them, do you know who Tony Gonzalez is? Some of them don't know him. They think he's a baseball player. And I'm like, really? Just because of the last name, right? You would think, oh, that's a baseball player. Nah, TG was a G, man. Travis Kelce, he wouldn't even
Don't
be in
nobody care, JJ, if you a whack ass Chiefs fan. Okay. That's why Taylor Swift cheated on Travis Kelce with 21 Savage.
I got nothing against some of the Chiefs fans. They're doing me. Man,
Yeah.
hey, it's cool.
They're actually cordial.
Yeah, it's good to rep your Chiefs, it's all good. Hey, shout out to this Chiefs fan. I'm pretty sure he's a respectful guy, so I'm not gonna give him a hard
time. JJ. Yeah, but he ain't had to come and brag like that. He ain't had to come brag like that.
They won Super Bowls the last couple of years, so we can't give them a hard time on that. They've been successful, but I'm telling you, this Chiefs team, they're hungry, and we got to play our best game. So
you got to, man, because
Patrick Mahomes is the magic, man. This guy can never roll. Everybody keeps saying you can't rule out Patrick Mahomes. That's true, but who does he got? No Tyreek Hill. Nah, it's all good, man. Don't sweat it. I'm not even against the Chiefs like that, man.
Nah, JJ, it's cool, boo. You come talk your shit. Cause represent your team. We just bothering you.
We're not going personal, man. We're just having a good time. I expect this to be a good ball game, actually. I think that's the challenging part. Who cares about the regular season? This is the playoffs. This is where Kansas City is at their best. So I'm not taking that away from the Chiefs. What's their strength? What's their strength? Their defense. Their defense is the best. I mean, I think they're like number 2 overall, but their run defense is not that great. That's their weakest spot. I like some of their secondary guys. What's his name? Snead and Justin Reed are pretty good.
I like Reader.
No, but there is this linebacker named Bolton, right? Bolton leads the lead in tackles, actually. I might have to look it up again, but he's got 180 plus tackles, I think. Now, that guy's a tackling machine. And Willie Gay, I'm not joking. This is his actual name, Willie Gay. He is like one of their most athletic linebackers. You never heard of that player? But their most athletic linebacker is Willie Gay. That's his name.
He's actually pretty good.
Yeah, he's not that bad. He's actually like I think he's one of their I think he's one of the will backers or something, but he kind of does well for them at times. They got this Treacle, whatever his name is. Dre Treacle, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he came from the Chargers. He's supposed to be really good for them, but I think you can't underestimate their defense. They got a really solid defense. It's just the run defense can be their weakest spot, but you got to see what happens. Hey, I'm not taking Kansas City lightly because they are a good. I'm actually glad they beat the Ravens because I think the Ravens scare me more than the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are going to give us a challenge for their money. I think one thing that scares me about Kansas City is we cannot let these guys get on a fast start. That's what scares me. If we let this Chiefs offense go on a fast start on us with a 2-score lead, that's going to scare me. But if we play on points, this can be a close game. That's how I look at it. We just got to play our best. I think that's the one concern I have about Kansas City. They might just score fast, and we might not have an answer for it. So you got to be on our A game on this one.
We got to be on our P's and Q's with this one. Like, ain't no slacking off. We ain't got no time for mistakes. Like, this got to be a literal perfect game.
Yeah, I don't see no way we because if we're down by 17 again, I don't know if we'll come back against this defense. But yeah, before we get onto this, before we get onto the end of the topic, I mean, what's your score prediction?
Ooh, this hard, man. I say 27-18 49ers.
Ooh, interesting. So we win by at least 9 points. Not bad.
A win is a win.
I'm going to be as respectful as I can in this game. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter where we get the ball, the final possession. It's going to come down in the 2 or 3 minute drive. The Chiefs are up by let's say they're up by 4 points, right? So the Niners, they go 80 plus yards down the field, and Brock Purdy pulls a Joe Montana, and the ball goes to Brandon Ayuk for the touchdown, and the Niners win. I'm going to say the score is 31-28. It's a
Ooh.
final prediction score. It's going to be in the final seconds of the game. It's going to be like 30 seconds left on the clock or something like that, and we move and we get the ball and the
Yo, what if it's in Moody hands?
no, but I'm just saying, like in the final seconds of the game, it's probably going to come down to 30 seconds where we're maybe at the 10-yard line or
Yeah.
something, and we get the ball and the clock is killing, and the Chiefs don't have time to come back. I think this is
I
going to be
think
like
that would you consider Brock a heavyweight?
Brock is a tough. I mean, Brock can be a fighter. I mean,
So it would be battle of the heavyweights, you would say then?
yeah, but I think it's gonna. I think this game's gonna be going into the fourth quarter. It's gonna be very close. I don't think. Neither team. I think there's gonna be a few mistakes, but I think Kansas City is going to be having one of those errors, and then the Niners are gonna have some of the errors too. But I think both of them are gonna evenly be the same. But I think in the final possession of this game, it's gonna come down to who's got the ball last and who can win the game. And nobody knows what to expect from Brock Purdy. So Brock Purdy may have 3 minutes to drive the team down the field, and we get a couple big chunk plays, and then we're in field position to where we can score a touchdown within a minute or 30 seconds on the clock, and we make the game-winning drive. We throw a pass, and I guess Brandon Ayuk pulls a John Taylor. I guess Ayuk pulls a John Taylor, makes the game-winning touchdown. That could be the classic.
Emmanuel said that the Niners will win on Sunday because we're in Brock Purdy's Super Bowl era.
Who, Emmanuel Sanders?
No, Emmanuel Acho.
Oh, he's been pretty high on this lately. But
Beginning he wasn't, and then
he had to see more of it. But I don't think he ever lost out on Brock to begin with. I think a lot of the other guys did. Shady's kind of coming on our side a little bit more.
No, I think Emmanuel, I don't think he's ever lost faith. I think, he's just one of those people that criticize in the right moment.
I don't know.
He's like, you can talk shit about me.
Yeah, I don't know when Joy Twiller's going to give us credit. She just seems to be a daughter. Maybe if we get her nephew in the draft, then maybe she'll have to be a believer of us. Because I heard the nephew can be drafted from LSU a couple years. Mason Taylor, whatever his name is, Mason Taylor. If we get him, then she has to cheer for him, or else that's a big disappointment. Can you imagine if she just doubted Brock Purdy and her nephew was the go-to other option? That'd be kind of funny, right?
That's what she wants. She want a nephew on the Niners.
Maybe she'll have some different belief because that's Jason Taylor's son. But yeah, I looked him up, and he's actually a good tight end from LSU.
That's what I heard.
I heard his name. I don't know if you heard of his name, Mason Taylor. He's a tight end from LSU. I don't know if he's declared the draft yet, but he's a young cat. Yeah, he's a sophomore, so in a couple of years, this guy's going to be really good. I looked up his production. Yeah, I think he's going to start moving up in the production. I think he's going to be a raw tight end in a year or two if he declares. We better get that kid so then maybe Joy can be a believer. Maybe we make her nephew into a star.
That's all she wants.
If we get Mason Taylor, she'll have to be a believer. Or else her nephew's going to say, why you don't believe in my quarterback? Why? That'd be kind of funny, right? Yeah.
Yo, this is an epic Super Bowl, man. Like,
so okay,
everybody, they were talking about it down here, and I'm in Jerry Jones country, and they were like, "Don't nobody give fuck about them 49ers," and I was like, "Nigga, y'all actually believe Jerry Jones is gonna get y'all? Shut the fuck up, bro."
Yeah, Jerry Jones won't do squat. Let me ask you a question: would you rather have Jerry Rice's son, or would you rather have CMC's brother in the
Jerry Rice's son?
Oh, okay. Because there's
Jerry Rice, the GOAT.
Yeah, Jerry Rice's son was in a couple games too, but Luke McCaffrey's another good receiver. Luke McCaffrey might be a sleeper from Rice, and he's Christian McCaffrey and Ed McCaffrey's son, but he's a little taller. Can you imagine if we get? Can you imagine if we get a Rice and a McCaffrey in the draft?
That'd be nice.
That'd be too much, right? I know Jennings is gonna
Then
be.
then you know we'll really get shit. We'll really get shit.
I'm hoping we get Brandon Rice. As much as I don't like USC, but he's actually been underutilized. I ain't gonna lie. He should have been used more.
The shade is real.
No, you think Brennan's for real because he actually led
No,
the team.
yo ass. I don't know why you throwing shade at my team, CG.
Tony
USC
Rice, I
ain't
like.
did nothing to nobody. Y'all just y'all kill me, man.
Nah, I like the kid. I like the kid Rice. That's about who I like. I mean,
No, I'm saying he was like, as much as I hate USC, and I was like, why? What did they do to you?
Because of Lincoln Riley, I don't like him.
Yeah, don't nobody like Lincoln.
Nah, he's a traitor. He did us wrong. So
I knew he was going to be out.
I think this is going to be interesting. I would only prefer to get Rice from you guys because
I knew he was going to leave, y'all. I was like,
I think if we get Brandon Rice, he's going to be a nice fit on our offense because I don't know if we're going to keep Jennings next year because he's going to be a free agent.
Usually, I was going to ask you. So, who do you think will benefit? Who won't?
I'm hoping Danny Gray can get his shit together, or else he's gone. I don't know. We're just not using him right.
Honestly, yeah.
I think he's a waste
unless
of
you know he just had a bad season, but
he's gonna have to get his shit together. But did you see Terrell Owens on some of those little interviews? He was wearing the Niners stuff, and he was actually praising Brock Purdy a lot. Guess he called him an elite quarterback or something.
Oh, T.O., you know, he does cocaine, so nobody listens to him.
Come on. What about Jeff Garcia? Is he another one too? Because he's been pretty high on him also. Jeff Garcia has been pretty high on Brock a lot. He's been on the Brock train. Jeff Garcia thinks he'll be MVP also. And I don't know. Like, there's a couple predictions, but I don't know if you watch what's been going on with Nick Wright and Chris Bouchard, but Chris Bouchard picked the Niners, and that's kind of like pissing off Nick Wright. Nick Wright says, "Why? Now you're making my day worse."
Nick Wright's a Chiefs fan. That's why.
He was hoping that he
is a Chiefs fan.
Yeah. What's up?
I don't think Brock Purdy should get MVP even in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to fucking hold you. It needs to be CMC. I really think it should be Debo.
No, it would be hilarious. Come on. If he gets MVP, can you imagine how that would piss off Nick Wright? That would be fucking hilarious.
No, I just don't think no quarterback. I don't think any quarterback this season deserves MVP.
Nah, if Brock has at least like 270 and 3 touchdowns, no interception, I think he takes the MVP, no question.
I think it should be.
I think you have a good point. You have a good point. CMC can be MVP, Debo can be, but
I think it's going to go to CMC all because of the fact of he went from Carolina and he was utilized for everything, and he came here.
No, but just imagine the media. Imagine Colin Cowherd. It
would be funny.
Just imagine those guys who were writing off Brock Purdy. It would piss them off. Just so he gets the MVP, that they're gonna say no, he wasn't the reason why they won. Why they gave him the MVP? Nick Wright's gonna say he didn't win the game. Why they gave him the MVP? Can you imagine that excuse if they said that? That would be hilarious. Like, think about it.
Nick Wright forever moving the goalposts.
No, but Nick Wright would get upset all offseason. Like, just imagine Brock Purdy having a solid game, and even if his numbers isn't what it is, but he gets MVP, that would be hilarious. Nick Wright would be pissed. Colin Cowherd would pretty much. Colin Cowherd's take would be the most terrible take he said, because he even said that Brock Purdy will be a backup quarterback next year. That would be the worst take.
If Kirk Cousins comes, you goddamn right he will be. So yeah, we're gonna tell you that right now. Hey,
and guess who's gonna quit sport reporting? Stephen Larice, whatever his name is. He's gonna quit.
Oh, good. Then he could quit.
Here's another funny part. Chad Ochocinco will divorce his wife and quit eating at McDonald's. That's how
Y'all go
crazy he
leave.
is.
He with the Raiders. Shout out to Chad.
No, he
Shout
didn't.
out.
He actually trolled them. He said I was just joking.
Fucker.
He trolled the damn Raiders. Raiders were pissed.
I heard that Devontae wanted to play with CJ Stroud.
I know, but the problem is CJ Stroud is with the Texans. He might have to be getting traded to the
No,
Jets for
that's what he's saying. He wants to go to Houston.
probably because it's more
He's saying he
competitive
just feels like, yeah, and then he feels like CJ is more of his quarterback style.
that he would work with. Yeah, because it's somebody he's worked with in past years with Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers.
I
But
just
come on,
want
that
us to
would be.
win so Nick Wright could be quiet. I like Nick Wright
But come on, the
because he
Brock
doesn't
Purdy
go with
MVP would
the narrative.
the Brock Purdy MVP would end the goalposts because they can't say nothing to
I
Brock
mean,
Purdy.
I just think that a lot of these people cry and complain. Nick Wright ain't never
It'd be
played football
funny.
properly a day in his life. All these other analysts who's never played a sport, they go with the
I
narrative. Nick Wright
I just
doesn't go with the narrative. That's why
I,
I like him.
I like that he
But
doesn't
I just
change
want
his
Brock
tune.
Purdy to
He doesn't
win
change.
so we could rub it in the Chiefs' face and his face like Nick.
No, I mean one thing I respect about Nick Wright is he doesn't change his tune. He sticks with it, which I like a lot about him. But I don't like his fucking take at times. But he does.
I mean, but if Brock Purdy is considered an elite MVP quarterback, then of course
Nick Wright
criticism.
looks like he could be the laundry boy. He is a little punk. You know what Nick Wright reminds me of? You remember that one? I don't know if you ever heard of this type of person. You ever heard? You know what Nick Wright reminds me? You know Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell. That was my baby daddy. Rest in peace. He died on my birthday.
He looks like Screech from Saved by the Bell. He reminds me of that guy.
He died on my birthday
I
of
don't know,
stage
but
4.
yeah, he actually
Yeah,
passed. He actually
yeah,
like I think he
yeah.
actually
He
took.
found out he had stage 4
Yeah,
cancer, and then a week later, on my birthday, he passed away. I was crying.
that
I
was
wanted to marry that
crazy.
man.
No, but that dude
Nerds
was a
are
good
sexy.
actor.
Y'all are crazy.
He was from San Jose too, which I've heard about. But
No, Nick Wright
no, but
reminds
that's
me
what
of the. He reminds me of the dry
he reminds
eyes
me of
guy.
Screech.
CG. It's no, Nick Wright reminds me
No,
of the dry eyes guy. Clear eyes is awesome.
nah,
Like
he reminds
he
me.
kind of reminds me of that
He
dude.
reminds me more of Screech from Saved by the Bell because he looks like the weirdo. You know, the one that thinks he knows
That's
everything.
hella crazy.
No, he kind of looks like the guy that knows everything, right? The guy that everybody kind of makes fun of, but thinks he knows everything. That's Nick Wright, like
Yeah,
Screech. Saved by the Bell,
that's
Saved by
yeah.
the Bell.
You better
Yeah,
put that on your Twitter so he could
I feel so old watching that show. I was
so
watching it
he
as
can
a
come
kid.
get you.
Good. I actually still watch it on those reruns sometimes, but you still watch Saved by the
That was
Bell?
my
It's a good
favorite
show.
show. That was my favorite show.
Yeah,
Yes, I
but
do. I'm old
you
school.
know who reminds me more of Carlton Banks and like in a different character of the sports take is trying to think of one. There's different ones that I don't like. I guess I don't know. Kind of tough, but I think what Colin Coward reminds me of as a sports taker. He reminds me of Steve Carell from the 40-Year-Old Virgin. Like when you watch Colin Coward, doesn't he kind of remind you more of Steve Carell in the 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Yes, he does.
He does.
Yes.
Like, don't you hear his voice like Steve Carell for the 40-Year-Old Virgin? That shit, like, I'm always like watching this guy, like, bro, you are weird as hell, bro. Who cares about a damn hat? He didn't even say shit to Max Crosby. Max Crosby actually had his hat on that way, and he didn't say a damn thing to the guy. You know why? Because he's scared of him. He's not going to say that in front of him. He's not going to say to Max Crosby, hey, turn your hat the other way. Why would he do that? Because it's a 260-pound D-line that's going to probably pump
Yo,
him.
that whole Brock Purdy, who wears a backward cap to an interview. Like Tom Brady did, bitch. You didn't say nothing with Brady.
Yeah, he had no problem with Max Crosby. He had no problem with Max Crosby when he wore the hat backwards? Did he say anything?
Why didn't you say nothing to Kyle? Kyle does that all the time. Say something to him. Like,
But
they
he
just
does
picking on
remind,
Purdy because
yeah, he
Purdy.
does remind me of the Steve Carell from the 40-Year-Old Virgin. He's a
That's
weirdo.
my boo. Wait a minute. I love The Office. Shout out to The Office.
God,
That's who
please
Nick,
no.
that's who Nick Wright reminds me of.
Nah, I mean, there's different characters. Like the one
No,
guy,
he's Dwight. He's Dwight from The Office. That's who Nick Wright is. That creepy motherfucker Dwight.
he's either but he's either just Screech or that guy, like you said. But or
I didn't
you know who else reminds me of somebody from a certain show, like in Two and a Half Men. I would think that I would think somebody like I would think of somebody who can be Alan from Two and a Half Men because of the way he is. That would be Nick Wright
who.
also. That would be Nick Wright.
Shut up, not Alan.
He
Talk about
would.
my Alan. Wait.
He says the dumb stuff. He does like don't you realize that whoever says the dumb stuff is actually what Nick Wright says and he believes that crap. I mean anything Nick Wright says he thinks it's true, right? And Charlie is
Yeah.
Bashar. Charlie is Chris Bashar. He's always trying to outsmart him. He's always telling him not to say that crap or something.
Do you have any plans? You're going to a function or anything
Now
for the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna go visit my mom over there and watch it with my brother and everybody else. Probably just gonna go over there.
Y'all have any game day rituals?
We get some barbecue food and a bunch of stuff, and then we put the game on and all that stuff. If that's the tradition, yeah. Oh my god! Oh yeah, he's right. No, Nick Wright
Shut
looks
up,
like
OG.
no,
Shut
Nick
up,
Wright.
OG.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Nick Wright looks like Nick Wright would look like Nick Wright looks like an ex of Brittany Mahomes would date. Like the rat
There
face,
you
right?
go. Yeah,
Nah,
there you
he
go.
will. He will like okay. You know how some people find the famous at some point. If Brittany Mahomes wasn't never dating Patrick Mahomes, she would have Nick Wright as one of those exes that she'd probably dump off the damn street because they look like a bunch of rats. She would be a perfect couple to Nick Wright because they look like rats. Look at his nose. Look at her face. They both look like rats. He would be a leftover. If Patrick ever dumped her, she would go date Nick Wright just to play with him and then dump him. That's how Nick Wright would be. But he kind of like I don't know, like you know who reminds me more of Alan from Hangover is actually Nick Wright.
we we can't do the Hangover. Hold on.
No, that would be Nick Wright with his dumb takes, and then he'll regret it. But I guess we'll do something next week. But for everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in. It was a lot of fun. I guess not too much today, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this matchup. So,
Me too, man.
So you say we're gonna win by 9 points, and I say we're gonna win by the last second game. So I think we're gonna see a Purdy magic. It's gonna be the new era. And Brandon Ayuk's gonna pull a John Taylor.
So who do you think? So since you said that we win by the last second, you said who makes the touchdown?
Brandon Ayuk.
BA, yeah, because they are poetry.
Yeah.
I say Debo.
I think you're going to see touchdowns coming off of Christian McCaffrey, and then Brock Purdy's going to have maybe a 2-touchdown performance, and then no picks. He'll probably have somewhere close to 250. He'll have close to 250.
I say 270.
I think Ayuk and Kittle are going to get a touchdown.
I say he has 270.
Okay.
Purdy.
And then but I think it's better to have Purdy as the MVP just so they silence the media people and they'll be pissed about it. They can't just say we won in spite of him. They can't say that. What can they say? They can't say nothing about it. That would be the best way to shut him up. I'd rather have Debo Samuel winning the MVP or CMC, if I'm being honest. But I think having Purdy winning the MVP would even be funnier. It would be the icing on the cake. Because what are they going to say about Brock Purdy? Can't say nothing. They can't say, can he win the big
They gonna
one?
find something. You know they'll find any little thing.
But if he wins the Super Bowl MVP, isn't that going to silence them a little bit? Isn't
It
that going to
can,
piss?
but Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl MVP, and they still nitpicked at him. So
But I think that would be the end of doubting him. That would be like another discussion for Brock because the next narrative they're going to say, can you win another one? That's going to be the next question, which that's okay. We just need to win one at least.
thank you. Like, first of all, I just want to win because
Just win one,
it's a
yes.
lot of Chief spaces that I'm going into, and I'm gonna be like,
Is there a lot?
what's that shit you was talking, nigga? I
Is there a lot of
told
Chiefs?
y'all last, but I did tell my Niners fans. Y'all said my husband costed us the Super Bowl, Jimmy. So that means Purdy
Brock's
gotta
got to
win
go
it
win.
since he better than Jimmy.
He's got to win it.
I'm
And
gonna dedicate. If we win the Super Bowl, I'm gonna dedicate my win to the greatest man who never got a Super Bowl because he got in his own way, Terrell Owens.
oh yeah, okay, get your popcorn ready. But we already got into the
Yeah,
final. We're definitely looking forward to next Friday, man. This is gonna be popping. But hey, I guess
ooh,
we
I can't wait.
pop a champagne, throw the six Lombardi up in the bay. Do it for the bay.
All
Do it for
the
the bay.
hustling, the injuries, and we made it, man.
We made it.
If
Or we
the
can use
Niners win, I would compare this Super Bowl win to, my team, greatest basketball team ever, the Warriors' last championship. Throughout the injuries and everything, we still prevailed and won. So I would give the Niners that type
I
of praise.
I think this Niners team kind of reminds me more of the. I remember this a long time ago. This reminds me of a certain finals that I watch as a fan, and I remember we lost that finals against Celtics, but we finally got the monkey off our back by beating the Celtics. This is the redemption.
I
This is
know.
the redemption that we all want.
Yes, Niners want this.
Well, the Warriors got the redemption on the on the what is it on the Cavaliers, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got a redemption on the Celtics. So this has got something in common. We all got our revenge on certain opponents. The Kansas City Chiefs are the common opponents.
That's the only obstacle standing in our way.
KC, but we're about to give them that KC barbecue special, and we're gonna
Smoking on
send,
that KC pack.
and we're about to make a limited edition of a shirt that says Andy Reid loves cheeseburgers and he doesn't like to call plays when he's eating
Yeah,
cheeseburgers.
you go wear it. You go wear it. See, you go wear
KFC.
it.
That'd be kind of a funny shirt, right? Make an Andy Reid shirt that says I'm eating cheeseburgers during halftime. Okay, I guess we'll call it a day. And thank y'all for tuning in. But we'll definitely see y'all next
Thank
week.
y'all.